And we have one example about the level that Sayyidina Abdullah bin Abbas radiallahu anhu reached when he became one of the ulama, one of the scholars of his time. His student one day came and said to him, people are blocking the streets outside, are congested waiting for you. They want to learn from you. So he took wudu and he said to his student, ask them if any one of them wants to ask about Quran and its recitation and its narration, let them in. His house was filled with people, congested. They asked him questions and he answered them. They kept on asking and asking, and he answered all their questions. And when they ran out of questions, they have no more questions, he gave them extra knowledge. And then he said, give space to your brothers. This is a polite way to ask them to leave, because the streets remains congested. The streets remain congested, filled with people. People are waiting for their turn to come in. So they left. When they left, he asked his student, he said, ask them, anyone who wants to learn about the tafsir of the Quran, exegesis of the Quran, let them in. His house was again filled with people. And they asked him questions about the tafsir of the Quran, and he kept answering them until they ran out of questions. And then he gave them extra knowledge that they didn't ask. And when they finished, he again said, give space to your brothers. The streets are still filled with people. And then he said to his student, ask them, whoever wants to ask about fara'id, the prescribed acts of worship, what is fard that wajib we have to do in Islam, let them in. So his house again was filled with people and congested. They asked him questions, he answered all their questions, and he gave them extra knowledge. And then he said, give space to your brothers. They left, and he said, whoever wants to ask about Arabic, poetry, history of the Arabs, come. And the house also again was filled with people. And that became almost the norm. Always the streets are blocked. His house was always filled with people. And that was a problem if people want to go walk in the street and the streets are blocked. So he wanted to find a solution. So he make one day for fiqh. Those who want to come for fiqh, they come on that day only. So the streets are not blocked. Another day for maghazi expeditions of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. One day for poetry. One day for the history of Arabs. One day for Arabic, and so on. Because Arabic and the history of Arabs, we learn the life of Rasulullah and the companions, we learn Islam from them. Arabic language, because without Arabic language, how can we understand the Quran and the Sunnah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam? So he was teaching that. He himself was a university. He was interdisciplinary scholar, not like our scholars nowadays. We want to find one field, go deep in it, and know nothing about other fields. You want to ask about fiqh, about tafsir, about recitation, about narration, about Arabic, about history, interdisciplinary scholars. Because when you are taken care of, you are brought up well, the moment you are born, you will become a successful human being in your life, definitely.